Welcome to the South Florida Saltwater Fishing Report. I'm Heath, and it's time to get into the bite. All right, folks, welcome to the show. South Florida's ultimate resource for everything local fishing. We're going to go over what's biting, who's catching it, where it's being caught. We're also going to cover your future marine forecast, moon phase, and tide charts. Everything you need to know to help keep you in the bite. Like I said, welcome to the show. We are on our new day going forward, Wednesdays at 6 o'clock. Before we get into this, though, if you want to learn more about fishing, grow as an angler, just see some great and exciting offshore fishing adventures, you can start by hitting the subscribe button and joining the South Florida Saltwater Fishing family. All right, folks, so let's get right into this. The weather is beautiful. That's the word of the day. And the reef fishing is going to come back to life. I know it's really rough right now for all you planer troll guys. All right, let's get into this. Right now, we're going to start off with a guy from a little bit of Lake Michigan going on there. I know it's not a freshwater fish. I know it's a freshwater fish. I know it's from Michigan. But hey, if you take the time to post, we're going to talk about this. Brian at Big Lake Little Boat, big old lake trout up in Michigan. I know absolutely nothing about fishing for this, but that's a solid fish. All right, great. Brian, thanks for supporting the channel and continuously showing up and, putting the stuff in. All right, here we go. Some skinny water clean. Marlo Kennedy Aleva back there. Look at this. That's a red fish with a ton of spots. I mean, the spots are like fingerprints on the redfish, and yeah, definitely a nice fish. And she's always producing a catch and continuously adding some value to this show. Thank you, Marlo, for always doing it. All right, let's see what else shallow stuff we got, folks. I know we got tons to go over. What's that? Oh, look at that. That's yellowtail. We're going to get back to that in a minute. Let's go a little bit shallower. I know we only caught bait. Yeah, some people hit it and other people not so much. So we will start with, here we go. Al Green, 2-man limit, 1 hour. I can't even count, but the Spanish Mac were there, and they were there for the pickings. They got a nice couple of jumbos and your other ones going on there. This is Al Green, and not quite sure where they fished out of, but yeah, got on it. Let's see if there's any info here in the Fort Pierce was where they caught that on up and down the beach too. So if you're up north, the Spanish are up there. Perfect. Cool. All right. So let's start taking a look at what's floating around here. Like I said, there we go. There's Brian. I didn't even see it. Everybody's comment. Hey, man, solid job on the trout. Like I said, I don't know anything about it, but that's a great fish right there. Just caught a nice wahoo off Key Largo. Yeah. Hey, the wahoo are swimming around. If you're putting in the effort to go get them, they're there. It's an elusive bite, but they're there. Anyway, let's start talking about our pelagics. I know it had a reef picture here. I didn't even get the comment. There was a ton of comments, and I got sidetracked. This is Yandri. Look at this. I mean, he emptied out the reef. That's awesome, man. A table full of yellowtail snapper and a bucket full of grunts and a little bit of everything going on in there. So, man, hey, awesome reef haul right here. Congrats, and that's dinner for days. All right, so the yellowtail, right? It's the time of year, folks. Yellowtail snapper are there. The snapper bite is actually the reef bottom fishing bite with the grouper and everything has actually been quite significantly more productive than the offshore trolling. Everybody's going out there in dolphin mania right now, mahi mania, because they're still biting, they're still chewing, they're still around, which is crazy. But hey, if that's not your cup of tea or you're struggling to get into the bite, consider going on the reef. All right, we got Yasmini. Went up, trolled from Palm Beach to Stewart. He said the Kings were hot, 80 to 100 feet. So like I said, this reef, we've been struggling here a little bit in the south. The bite has been super slow over our, second and third reefs. but you know, hey, if you run into them, you run into them. And this is what hopefully we can look forward to in the coming weeks or so, that they make their way down here, which is great. Hey, man, I mean, you know, you got a wahoo and a boatload of kings, man. You can't ask for much more than that. That's a solid haul right there. All right. Sean Saunders went out 900 feet. This is a baby yellowfin tuna. So, yeah, if you get them, that's what they look like. They got to be 27 inches to the fork. So, yes. And Sean said this guy was about 14 inches. He had it out there, and you know, hey, landed on them, but they're just not quite big enough. And yes, you do need an HMS permit to keep these. So yeah, when they're tiny like this, they look very similar to a blackfin, but that is from all the research and everything, you'll find that that's a little yellowfin. They're rare out here, you know, off South Florida. You're not going to see them every single time, but they're there. All right, Gavin, the nice dolphin. This right here is pretty much a telltale sign of what you're going to have if you're going out dolphin fishing. 1, 2, maybe 3. You're not going to load the boat, but you are going to get their better size. I even went out with the Slayer this past weekend. We ended up catching a couple of nice ones too. But yes, this is your typical dolphin fishing. You're gonna run around looking for them for 2, 3, 4 hours and wind up on that 1 or 2 fish, or as the weed patches bunch up together towards the middle of the day. That's when it's going to be time to start focusing on that dolphin fishing. The early morning stuff, they're just not really that active and biting like they do in the early summer months. All right, anyway, great, Gavin, thank you for the submission. All right, here we go. Doug, 5 blackfin. Now these are not your average football blackfin that this guy has landed on. These are some big fish. 5 blackfins up to 20 pounds. Trolling. He had a solid bite, bait everywhere. So, yeah, what can you say? 5 blackfin, they're going home with a ton of sashimi. Lots of sushi on the table right there, tuna steaks, whatever you got. Those are the big enough ones that you can steak them, throw them on the grill, and do whatever you want. But yes, hey, congratulations, Doug, on the solid day. There's our 100 million Spanish mackerel. Todd Prince sent me something, but it's like I'm not sure what it is. Anyway, we'll move on. Sean, same thing, right? Blackfin out of Stewart. Went 1 for 2 in 350 feet. Hey, still going home with some dinner. That's the good stuff right there, the blackfins. And, if you get that oddball yellowfin, cool. Michael, out of Hollover, a slow day. Okay, so, and I was saying, the reef is where it's at right now. It's productive, but again, the reef is some of the most complicated fishing other than land-based that you can get involved into. You could have every condition perfect on the reef and nothing bites. And then a shark shows up and, yes. But regardless, here, let's talk about this yellow jack that he's got. This thing is, for a slow day, and then you pull that out of the water, hey, you're still going home with that. That's a solid 5-6 pound fish right there, if not more. And yellow jack are great eating too. They're not fishy at all. They're white meat, white solid meat. So, hey, man, good. He said the current was ripping, so he could barely hold bottom. Everybody's got their own sort of, yes, it does happen. Yeah. Bombing out is all part of fishing. That's why it's called fishing and not catching. Definitely, one of those things. Personally, me, when I'm fishing the reef, I try to not get on the bottom unless I'm dropping down something to go for a cobia or a mutton snapper. Then I'll want to get my weight to the bottom and kind of keep letting mine out. Other than that, I try to fish the water column. The bottom feeders is not always what I'm going for. But like I said, we've all got our different ways of doing it and being productive, and we're always learning. So thank you, Michael, for the submission. Said, looks like he got 1 of each. He got the kingfish. Oh, no, 3. He's got a kingfish, a yellow, a dolphin. Hey, he said out of Boynton Beach, right? The mahi hit the troll with a ballyhoo. Kingfish was on a flat line while he was bottom fishing for yellowtail. And the yellowtail, obviously, you know, that's your bottom fishing fish. You got to get out there and put the chum on in the water and try and get them to come to the boat. So here, this guy's got a couple, 3 different species. Awesome day. Cannot complain. Richard went out of Jupiter on Sunday, ran into these, which that looks like skipjack. Let's see here real quick. We will zoom in. Is his daughter holding them? Yep, that's skipjack, and that one looks like blackfin right there from the size of the pectoral. Let's see, Brandon got weeded up continuously. Yes, the scattered weeds were horrendous. When you got lots of weeds like that, keep those lines short. Keep them right at the back of the backwash of the boat. That way you don't got to reel in several hundred feet of line every time you get weeded up. Or you can also, when there's lots of scattered weeds, pick up the speed. Do 9 to 10 miles an hour while you're trolling. That will help keep those weeds off. All right, let's keep going. Hey, there he is. Hey, mister, you haven't seen him forever. Hey, listen, you're going to start seeing it because starting this Sunday, we're back to making real fishing episodes and how-tos and all this and that. So everybody who is here right now, and if you watch it, this Sunday, I believe it's the 23rd. Let me check because I just don't know. Sorry to stare at my phone while we're on a live show right here, but I want to have the right information for everyone. Yes, the 23rd. So, 5 o'clock Sunday, we got a new show, and no, I'm not giving away any secrets because I'm busy editing it. And Mr. Nucking Futz, hey, a lot of people will be eating good. Oh man, they definitely. And here, yes, eating good. I was out trolling yesterday in front of Hillsboro, moving north towards Boca. Yes, I was hoping to get a wahoo, but got not yet. Hey, that is unfortunately the lifelong story of wahoo fishermen. I always say this, out of a dozen times, you're going to get a wahoo once, maybe twice. And that's all you have to do. You have to focus for wahoo. If you're doing kingfish, mahi, tuna, and wahoo, and you're trying for whatever bites, you're not really focused on targeting wahoo. If you target wahoo, out of a dozen trips, you're going to maybe end up with 1, maybe 2. And the more you get dialed in on it, you'll figure out what you have to do. But the wahoo bite is always an elusive bite. And if that's what you're going to do, that's what you're going to do. You will definitely up your catch ratio. But a lot of times I always relate it to going hunting for that 12-point buck. You're going to go home, you know, with a lot of heartbreak. Anyway, yes, better luck next time, and don't give up on it. They are out there, and you will, you know, you put in the work, you will end up with it. I've seen it 100 times. Day after Thanksgiving, heading to my winter home in Venice, Florida. Oh yeah, man, definitely come on down or go on up. Come on down. The fish are here. Can't wait. Yes, Sunday. Yes, it's good. It's going to be a great one. I took the fish slayer out. We had a great day, and don't get me sidetracked. I'm not giving away any secrets right now. I got a ton of work to do before Sunday, as a matter of fact. That's the only thing I can say. Yes, there will be some surprises. We're going old school on a little bit of things, and we're gonna anyway focus. Venice, Florida fishing is different. Oh yeah, man, you got to get out there like 70-80 miles getting like 9 feet of water, man. Yeah, definitely a totally different fishing. Here in the Tri-County area, we've got stuff. Oh, you're in Maine. So you're hunting for the 12-point buck. So you can verify for me that one buck, that trophy thing is similar to wahoo fishing. Yes. All righty, guys. Richard found the tuna out there. The weeds, right? Yes. Go faster. Still a fun day by the sound of it. Would have gone, yep. Everybody was out there. They were finding the dolphin. Were around 800 this weekend. I ran out to 1,000 feet, ran back into them on in around 800. It was pure luck. I was ready to call it a day. And then we ran across some weeds, like I said, that had bunched up, and everybody was sitting there live baiting them. I trolled right by and got the hook up immediately. And we hooked 3, caught 2. Yeah, I lost the one, of course, me. The fish slayer caught the other 2. Got 2 does with 1 shot this year. Wow. That's amazing. You had 2 for the price of 1. Love that, man. I got to get back in. All right. Hunting. Yeah. Anyway. All right, Richard. All right, guys. Brian up north. Here we go. David. His daughter Allison caught the lone bonita. 3 strikes and 1 small bonita. So yeah, like you said, hey, sometimes you're on it and it's great when it happens. Other times it's just not happening. You're watching and seeing everybody else get them, and sometimes this is all you go home with. But hey, at least you get out, spending time with the family, and it's a day on the water. You take your blessings when you can get them, right? All right. And we got Jeff Starman. This is some deep dropping for you. He said he went to Polly Ridge. I'm not sure if it was on their own boat. It does not look like the Yankee captains there from the Gunnels. So, yes, they went out there and they did some deep dropping. Look at that. We got, I know it's Queen. Looked like maybe a couple of Scamp and a Yellow Edge. When they're all beat up like that, I can't really tell. And my group of identification is... it's not horrible, but it could be a little bit better. Anyway, here's some great catches out there off the Polly Ridge. And let's see, Cindy, nice sized dolphin in the bucket right there, going home and making some tacos. Gotta love it. Like I said, the dolphin are out there. Everybody is literally, so what I've noticed is there's still people, they're doing, I haven't seen anybody really going for kingfish on purpose, like trolling in and out of those shallow areas. Everybody is wahooed up right now. They're out in 200 and 300. They're not focused on the kingfish. I don't know whether it's because they've given it a try and it's just not happening, or that's not their focus. You got to think about it. The kingfish are coming back though, if you've been out there and it's not been happening for you. As you can see, they were up north in Fort Pierce, I believe. That's where I can't even remember, but they're gonna show back up anyway. But everybody's out here running into dolphin. 1-2 dolphin makes it awesome. Junior, a couple of nice ones there, a couple of nice bulls, definitely. So I can guarantee you they got them one at a time. I don't think they were being best friends swimming next to each other. A couple of nice fish right there, and that's how you do it. Christopher, like I said, the wahoo are swimming around. It's slim pickings for them, but they are here. Okay, but you got to put in that work, folks. And like I said, for me, I'll give wahoo a chance. I'll head out that deep, but I'm always combing, from the first to the third reef. Actually from the second to the third reef. I don't really. Unless there is such great specific conditions that are happening, and I know the wahoo are sort of biting without looking, then I will say, all right, this is going to be a wahoo trip. Other than that, I kind of tend to go, all right, we're going to do a little bit of everything. But that's just me. And here we go. The best of Boynton, the man, the myth, the legend, Jim, Captain Jim, 4J's Charters with a 27.5-pound log of Omahi. You don't see them that big too often around here. I mean, we have seen a couple 40 pluses and this and that, but hey, man, that's a hog right there. Congrats to Captain Jim. He's a charter captain out of Boynton Inlet, right, folks? So if you're looking for a charter captain out of Boynton and you need one, this is the guy. You better hook up with him. If you can't, get in touch with me. I'll put you in touch with him. Oh, there he is. Speak of the devil. The man himself. Hey, everybody. Yes. So, Captain Jim, solid dolphin. And, go on. You can check out his website. The proof is in the pudding. You're going to get out there and you're going to get on some fish, and definitely takes customers out, keeps an open mind, and has the skills to go, hey, we're going to make this happen and get, keep the customers happy and get you on the fish. And obviously, look at this thing. I mean, lovely. All right, Jim. Thanks always for your submissions and for, being part of this local community and helping, providing the great community service that you do. Hello, going out this weekend is going to be great again into next week. I'll get to that. Jim, yes, like I said, you well-deserved title, Best of Boynton. All right, and Yandri, we already did his. All right, folks, so that's what we got going on, right? The wahoo, they're still biting. The mahi, they're still biting. So, it's just something you got to think about if you're out there and you're making your plans for the day. Are you going to go hit that reef? The reef is being very productive. The snappers are chewing. The groupers are chewing. I've seen lots of gags and blacks caught, lots of reds. So if you've got grouper holes, season's open, man. It's going to come to a close at the end of December. So it's, if you're out there for them trying to get the grouper, definitely do what you got to do to make it happen. It's 6 weeks, and then you're going to have to wait till May to go back doing it. That's our reef, right? The dolphin are there. They're still chewing for some reason. They're hanging out still, which is great. So, if that's your thing and you want to commit to it, go out and look for them. Like I said, I noticed the last couple of times I've went out for them, the morning bite, as the sun gets up overhead, the shadows disappear, the sargassum starts to clump together. That's when they start showing up and feeding more. And remember, you're going to want to look for those almaco jacks. If you're getting pegged by almaco jacks, the dolphin are going to be more than likely somewhere around. Give it some time, they'll show up. And wahoo, swordfish are definitely starting to bite too. So but it's been a hit or miss thing. I've heard lots of complaints about, hey, I went out and didn't get nothing. It happens, and interestingly enough, it's from seasoned fishermen and the folks with a little bit less experience that are still getting into the game or having some of the greatest days of their life comparatively, not just like, oh, hey, I'm getting into it, I'm glad I got this. They're pulling in solid, desirable fish that, the seasoned vets go, man, hey, it happens. So don't ever think, one, there isn't room for improvement, and two, that you're the greatest fisherman on earth and you're not going to go home with nothing. Trust me, it happens to everyone. All right, let's start talking about weather, folks. Like I said, we got right now there's a little itty bitty front that pushed through, but nothing, not going to get cold. We're going to see mid 80s by the weekend, and we've got some wind pushing through right now, and it's going to calm down as we head into Friday, and it'll hang out. Nice weather will hang out Saturday through next Monday. So let's check it out right now. All righty. And is there a good wind direction that makes fishing more productive? Yes, the southeast wind is the best fishing wind. East or southeast. It pushes all the crap in from the ocean and gives you debris and forms of life and flotsam to go fish around if you're offshore fishing for pelagics. That's pretty much for trolling. The worst wind that you can have that actually disrupts fishing is a variable wind or a northeast wind. A strong northeast wind that we get coming in the wintertime turns the bite off. So like as you can see on our graphic right now, we have a northeast wind, but we're not there quite yet. It's the winter northeast wind, not the fall. This wind that we're getting right now is not that detrimental to where it turns the bite off. I will announce it when we get into our what we call the prevailing winds that are going to shift. It's coming soon, and it's going to make fishing rather tricky. So that's what we're looking at. But if you're asking for what the best wind is, I've always been a southeast wind guy. The bite is if it's not hot, then you just got to put in a little bit more work and make it happen for yourself. All right, let's take a look at our wind, right? Do some weather right here. Okay, so we got northeast winds right now. This is windy. All the websites that we're going to go through are in the description. Click, copy, paste, use them at your disposal. And remember, these are just forecast models. Everything can change. So if you're really planning a trip, planning on getting out there, I suggest, look at it every other day, or if not every day, especially 2 to 3 days up before your trip, because this stuff literally changes hourly too. So, it's just forecast. It's not the thing. So just bear with that. Now, windy's kind of cool. You can click and point, and it'll show you wind speeds, directions, wave heights, all that stuff. And you've also got a color-coded chart down at the bottom, right? So if you see green, you're looking between 10 and 20 knots. If you see the lighter turquoise color, it's between 5 and 10 knots. That's how this works. Very simple app, very user-friendly. All right, so for right now, let's say Tri-County area, 9 knots northeast wind. But again, this is not that northeast wind that I was talking about, that are the prevailing winds that's going to happen. That is right now. Let's look at tomorrow morning, which is more important. We still got the same thing hanging out, 9 knots as we head down into the Keys. They're looking like a little bit heavier, pulling 12. West coast is on the leeward side, which means our wind is pushing that way, protected by the land. So, all the guys, the Skyway Pier and all that stuff, they're going to have nice, calm seas, nice, warm breezes, and fish biting. And I've seen the kingfish rolling in. On the Skyway Pier, they've had some great catches. I wish those guys would post some stuff here so we could show, but, hey, I can just say what I see. Anyway, I don't want to go borrowing pictures off of other folks' stuff. So the further up north we go, when you get up towards Vero and where was it that he said he's going? In Venice, which is up here quite a ways. Venice is on the west coast, up somewhere, right? I know Venice is west coast, north. So yes, that'll be kingfishing and wahoo. I've seen some nice wahoo caught on the west coast this week. All right, let's go tomorrow afternoon. Same stuff. Looks like the wind's actually going to pick up a little bit, 1 knot. And the same story as we head further south, your wind increases again. Down here, down south on the Florida Straits, or the Straits of Florida, that is nothing but open air travel, man, where you've got no resistance at all. Friction-free wind flow. So that's what that is. Friday morning, let's see. It looks like it's calming down a little bit. About 8 knots from the east. Not bad. The further north we go, looks like a little less, about 5. And as you head into the Keys, again, they're going to be in that 10-plus range. Friday afternoon, looks like we're calming down a little bit. And like I said, as we head into the weekend, we're looking at nicer stuff. So what you'll see is both days, Saturday and Sunday, we're going to see very low level wind speeds. You got the hiccups. And then as the day progresses, they will pick up. So, Saturday morning, next to nothing, 2 knots from the northeast. Down in the Keys, they've even come down a little bit, but they're still, 8 to 10 knots from the east, northeast. And as we head into Saturday afternoon, again, not much picks up, 6 knots from the east. So like I said, we're going to start out at nothing, and the wind will gradually increase. So, if you're out fishing all day and you leave the inlet and it's dead flat, and then you come back in and then it's a bumpy ride getting back in, don't be surprised. All right, Sunday, the day I'm looking at trying to get out. Looks like up north, we got a northwest wind coming down. The further south we head into the Tri-County area, we got winds that are going to kind of shift as the day progresses. We got starting out with the north wind, 6 knots. So like I said, it's going to pretty much be next to nothing. Down in the Keys, we're looking at 8 knots, 9 knots, Tri-County area. So we're going to have a little bit of a lay down in the morning, and then again, it will pick up as the day goes on. Looks like it's actually going to lay down a little bit as the day goes on. Perfect. And into Monday, I did a little bit of a sneak peek, and I saw that Sunday into Monday is going to be, the 2 of the better days. Monday, if you got that day off, get out there and do it. Sunday, Monday, if we're heading towards Thanksgiving, right? So just think about that. And if you can get out and there and do it, and you got the time off work or you're self-employed or whatever, get out there and do it while you got these couple of days. Also, folks, 12 days left in hurricane season. We're looking pretty much free and clear. All right, so that's Monday. Tuesday, here we go again, 12 knots to the east. So it's not letting me go any further than this with using the color shading, so I can't really tell unless I point and click. But the beautiful thing about having our live show scooched forward one day is I can give you a better, slightly more accurate representation of what's going to happen over the weekend into early next week. All right, so now let's go and look at our wave heights, right? So these are the waves. This is tomorrow morning, 2 feet from the northeast at 5 seconds. So not much of a little itty bitty swell. Further north you go, it gets more swell-like up into the St. Lucie area. You got that 8 second period. When you got a 5 second period, that's about average. It's not choppy, it's not brutal, but it's not flat. All right, down in the Keys, you got 2 foot at 4 seconds, a little bit offshore. You got 3 footers down to further down in the southern Keys. Our West Coast folks, this light color isn't, it's so light, it's not even on a color coded chart, which means they've got 0 foot. All right. Tomorrow afternoon, it stays about the same all day with our period of our waves increasing just a little bit, which means it'll flatten out a little bit as the day goes on. Friday, 2 foot 5 seconds. So we're looking at about 2 foot waves for the remainder of the week. Not even bad. And as night falls, looks like we're even laying down more, which is what I said. Saturday, Sunday, Monday are going to be our days. If to get out there and get her done. 1 foot Saturday, 1 foot at 6 seconds. So like I said, we're looking at good. That's the Tri-County area. The further up north we go, it's still the same thing, even with a more elongated period. So remember, the longer period that you go when you got a 7 second period, that's like a swell. That's basically like fishing on a lake out there. Down in Miami, same thing, 1 foot, 4 seconds, closer period, but not, anything. And as we head down into the Keys, 2 foot waves, 4 second period. So this will be a little slightly bumpy out there, but definitely, definitely quality boating weather. Saturday afternoon, same thing, 1 foot at 6 seconds. Sunday, it looks like they say it wants to pick up 2 foot waves from the north at 6 seconds. So it's not too bad. And they got a little bit of confused seas the further north we go. 2 foot at a 2 second period. So somewhere there's going to be a very choppy seas. 1 foot the further south we go. Inshore in the Keys, 1 foot. Sunday afternoon, like I said, yeah. So the forecast had shown that it was gonna settle down a little bit Sunday as the day went on. So get out there if you're a morning person. Hey, you get out there, it'll be a little bit bumpier. You do what you got to do. If you're the afternoon guy and you like to deal with that crowd and all the jet skis and everybody that that's your cup of tea, more power to you. I'm an early in and early out guy. I don't like there being a million boats at the boat ramp. All right. Sunday, Monday, this will be our last day of looking at waves. Monday, again, like I said, we're starting to look at a confused sea pushing down further is what we can see. If you can see the waves, there's a trough, right, that goes right around here. That's waves going every which way. So, might have to deal with that. But 1 foot waves, hey, very good. David, how we doing? We sure tried. 1 king, 2 barracudas. Grass was there, huge mats filled with jacks. Yep, hard to troll near. You can't. Sometimes you can't get near them because it's so scattered, and then you're doing more weed clearing than you are fishing. I totally get that. And then when you get near the jacks, sometimes they won't even let you fish either. But hey, you got the kingfish. Fire up that grill, and congrats to you and Allison and the family always, David, and thank you for all of your submissions and being part of this community. The world needs folks like everyone who is showing up here in the chat and everyone who, is part of this community. Thank you for being part of it, everybody. All right. Yeah, Monday. So 1 foot wave. So like I said, Monday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, we're looking pretty. And then it'll tell me Tuesday is where we're going to start picking up again. So there's going to be something happening with the weather Monday in the middle of the night. I'm not sure, but looks like we're going to start getting some wind and stuff like that. So let's head back to tomorrow. We'll look at our rain. We're in very dry conditions right now, folks. So don't expect to see any information pop up here when it comes to moisture. Maybe some moisture in the sky, but not really rainstorms. That's tomorrow morning. Dry. Friday, dry. Friday afternoon, dry. Then look, you would see blue showing up here if there was even any moisture or anything. You might have a few clouds here, but we're looking at clear skies, hot sun. And like I said, we're looking at it being in the mid 80s come the weekend. So this Saturday afternoon, dry. Sunday, dry. There's a little, so like I said, you'd see a little bit of blue. That's just moisture. That's not even any storms or anything. Monday looking good too. A little bit of moisture in the morning offshore, but nothing. It'll dissipate. So again, folks, dry. Bring out a ton of water. The good thing is this past Sunday when I went out, there was the humidity level was not insane, so it was actually quite nice, even though the sun was very hot. Alrighty, so that is that for windy. Now we're going to head to WindFinder, and this is just a numeric version. I tend to go with this one a little bit more than windy. I'm a numbers guy and all that stuff. So as a matter of fact, David did you keep either of the kudas? They're good eating. All right. Today is Wednesday. So tomorrow we're looking at, again, single digits, low double digits in the wind heading from the east, slightly east, northeast, something like that. Again, a little bit of clouds, very sunny. 2 foot waves from the northeast, 6 to 7 second period. The more telltale thing is Friday, we got 2 foot waves heading into and decreasing as we head into Saturday, right? The wind tends to stay from the east with barely a little nudge from the north. And again, wind speeds, not very gusty, wind speeds low, single digits, low double digits, period. Starting to expand as we head into the weekend. Sunday, again, like I said, a little bit better than a little bit of the same as Saturday and heading into Monday. So we're looking at, 1 to 2 foot seas Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And then, like I said, we start seeing an increase in wind and an uptick in wind speed and moisture and everything come Tuesday. But that's a week out. So even being remotely accurate on that is not going to happen. But these 3 days, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, we're looking at some good conditions. Get out there and do it. And, your period will be nice, will be the longest on Sunday if you're looking for that swell-like condition. But, then again, you got winds pushing at, 7, 8, 9 miles an hour. It's going to create a slight chop, but not a lot. All right, so that is that. Now let's look at our moon phase. For me personally, we had a good moon phase this weekend because it was non-existent. All right, let me get rid of all my commercials here, and then we'll look at it. So right now, we are at our new moon phase. We're going to be rolling over a dark moon for the next couple of days. So today it's at 0%. Waning. Tomorrow they're saying hey Sean, how you doing, buddy? We had a nice conversation about you and that yellowfin. So yeah, it's gonna be glad you could join us. We're looking at good stuff this whole weekend into next week too. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So tomorrow's the new moon. Day after we start waxing. Waxing is heading towards the full moon, 2%. So that's Friday. It's today, Thursday. This is Friday. So Saturday, we're at 5%. Sunday, 10%. Headed to the Keys for a long. Oh boy, man. What part of the Keys, if you don't mind me asking? Get out. That's some, that's world class fishing out there, especially if you're taking that jet ski. OF fishing only. Am I missing something, Sean? My bad. Yes. Hey. There. Oh, Keeler. Oh man. DM me. I got you. I can help out. Key Largo is my area. Send me a message and I'll get you some numbers. All right. Stop talking about cheating. What day were we at? So Monday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 10%, Monday, 17%, Tuesday, 25%. So as you can see, we've got a very lightly illuminated sky from our moon, which for me personally, that means the pelagic fish like your tuna and your dolphin and quite possibly the grouper and the snapper bite will be more productive because the sky isn't illuminated all night. It's just something to think about when you're planning your fishing trip. My thought process is like I said, the moon isn't shining brightly, so the bait fish aren't being given away for the pelagics to come and gorge themselves, which is why I always believe that when you've got a darker night sky, you've got a more productive pelagic feeding and reef feeding the next day. When you've got that night sky lit up, it's a little bit less picky, it's a little bit less productive. The fish can be more finicky trying to get into a solid bite and get dialed in on it. Again, at the same time, with this moon phase where we're at right now is where all the bait fishermen will be out there concentrating, getting goggle eyes and thread fins and stuff like that feed under the cover of darkness. Goggle eye fishing is all done when there's very little moon at night. They don't like light. So that's our moon phase. So this is not, if you troll for wahoo by the moon phase, don't do it. Don't do it this week. All right. And now we're going to look at our tide chart. So tomorrow morning, we got the tide is rising as the sun comes up. So if you're a shore-based fisherman, you're fishing your jetties, or you like to troll outside the inlets or fish right outside the inlet, bottom fishing, jigging, drifting, whatever it is, you have to have the outgoing tide. The outgoing tide pushes out all the microorganisms and sediments that little fish come in and feed on, especially chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is very important for water flow. When the water flows out and the chlorophyll's there, the little fish come in, they feed, and the big fish come in and feed on them. If you've got an incoming tide, it's sucking all that back in to your intercoastal and estuaries, and the bite will not happen. If the tide is coming in, you're going to catch nothing. You need an outgoing tide to be able to fish that, especially the land-based guys. Every time I'm going out the inlet and the tide's going out, I see people fishing. I just, I feel bad, but it's part of the whole process of learning what these tides do and how they work. All right. Friday, looks like throughout the weekend, we are going to have the incoming tide at both times of day where you would need it, right? And as far as also having the outgoing tide, it needs to be topical to when fish really feed, which is at daybreak and at sunset. So if you've got an outgoing tide in the middle of the day, it's not going to be as productive as it would it be when fish are more actively feeding. So our tides this week are, we've got incoming tides at both times of day where the fish tend to feed better. So that's what it is with our tides. So we don't really got, moon's not on our side, tides ain't on our side. So you're going to have to go out and make do with what we got going on. So that is that. Bear with me 1 second here, folks. I gotta, where's the V? There we go. Darn it. All right. Oh, that about does it for all that goodness. Before we head off, folks, if you are on Facebook, I just want to invite you. Come and join the South Florida Saltwater Fishing Report. It is a Facebook group. The cover looks like this, minus all the moving to Wednesdays and all that stuff. Cover looks like this. It says South Florida Saltwater Fishing Report. There are many South Florida saltwater fishing groups and all that. This is a private group. You have to ask to join. Got to answer a question. You know, what's your favorite fish? And are you going to follow the rules? The rules are simple. No screwing around. No soliciting. No bothering people. No uploading, your YouTube videos. I support everybody, and I have no problem doing that. But this isn't the place to, try and get clicks and likes. And it is what it is. It's a community for everybody to share information and have a little bit of fun and, a conversation. Oh, there's the fish slayer. This is what we caught Sunday. So you go through every Monday. We put a little brag board thing out. You put on your comments, you upload your fish, maybe say a little something about it, and you have a chance of being targeted and used as the thumbnail for the live stream, which is what we're doing right now. So, yes, and again, folks, this Facebook group in particular is what drives this live stream, and it makes this fishing report happen every week. Going trolling out of Jupiter tomorrow. What's biting? Well, it all depends. The mahi are biting, the wahoo are biting. If you're doing snapper fishing, the snapper and the grouper are biting. Just gotta, if you're going for the dolphin, you gotta go out there and find the weeds and put in the work to do them. The wahoo, the same thing. It's an elusive bite. Good luck, have fun, and be safe. And if you catch anything, definitely feel free to post it here on the page. You don't have to do it on, if you post something, you don't have to post it on the Monday thing. You can, we'll show you off. All right, folks, that about does it. Hope you had fun. We will see you next Wednesday. And like I said, get out there. The whole weekend looks good into early next week. So, if you got the availability and you can get out there and do it, get out there and do it. Bloody them decks, get some fish on the boat. And like I said, Sunday, the return is imminent, 5 p.m. We'll be back. It's going to be great fun. All right, we'll see you then, folks. Sunday. Have fun. Till next week for the next live stream report and fishing report. Yes, sir. Thank you, James. All right, we'll see you all. Have a good one. And till next time, South Florida Saltwater Fishing. Going wherever the cool wind takes us.